Have you ever thought of owning a phone that can actually charge other phones? So, what do you actually call a phone like that? Well, that's called the Asus Zenfone 3 Max. So, this is the all new phone that can also act as a reverse charging battery backup phone. So let's have a look at the phone box and the contents. So the box looks quite elegantly packed like most of the other devices that are out there in the market, with the specifications written on the sides and all sorts of barcodes, and that's it. And let's just open this up and see what is actually the contents of the box. So the first content, I guess, will be the brochure, and yes, it is the brochure. And second comes the charger with the USB to OTG cable. So this is something that you can use to charge other devices. And then comes the phone's on charger. So this, I think, you will have to set it up together into one piece and then use for charging. Keeping that aside, now we will have a look at the build quality and design of the phone. So coming to the build quality, the phone is not completely metallic, only the back is metallic. The top and the bottom are having plastic. The front is having a 2.5D curved edge display, so it doesn't mean that it's curved at the middle like the LG G Flex. It's just the edges that's curved, but the back is very much metallic, and it doesn't leave any fingerprint impressions on it. The side, we have the SIM slot, on top the 3.5mm headphone jack, and then the bottom has the USB charging port. The sides have the volume rocker and the power button, and on the back we have this fingerprint sensor with the camera and a speaker on the bottom. Again, on the front you have a front facing camera, which is a 5 megapixel shooter, and beside that you have the front speakers and the Asus logo on the bottom. Next, we'll be looking at the software and the user interface of this phone. So before the phone starts up, so we'll just have a look at the specifications. Now, the moment the phone starts up, you are welcomed by the Zen UI. Now, the Zen UI is something that is, customary for the Asus Zen phones. All the Zen phones run on the Zen UI. So this is a marshmallow version of the Zen UI, and the Zen UI is actually well known for their customized, build, which will actually minimize the usage of the battery in such a way that you will get ample amount of battery to use. So that means you won't be running out of power. The entire family of Zenfone runs on the Zen UI. The latest Zenfone 3 devices have fingerprint scanners, which open up door to many new possibilities, and all of this is made possible through the Zen UI. So the practicality of it is that it has a wide range of visual refreshing effects that start with the parallax motion background, which means your home screen wallpaper will be shifting based on how you tilt the Zenfone 3, creating an illusion of the perspective. A new blur effect has been added to the background items when you focus on something in the foreground, such as a folder. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, I would say it's more of innovative way to keep the users attracted to the user interface. And also, a new theme DIY toolkit helps you to customize your entire experience, and it will tweak your background, text styles, home screens, and everything. So in a nutshell, the user interface is good, but somewhere I feel that the icons are bloated. I mean, it looks kind of big. I mean, it is something like swollen up. Like, it's not like the other user interfaces which we can see in the premium flagship devices from the Zenfone. So that was pretty much about the user interface and the icons. Now, coming to the next feature of the phone is the fingerprint sensor. So the fingerprint sensor is actually just the same like the fingerprint sensors in all the other phones, But the main disappointing factor here is the performance of the fingerprint sensor, which I would say is a little bit laggy. I mean, it takes time for the fingerprint sensor to recognize the fingerprint and then activate the screen. So the response time is very much it's considerably more when you compare it with the other devices of this same price range. So this is a disappointing factor, especially when you are paying something somewhere around 10k. So this is a place where a lot of improvisation is required, and so I would say that the fingerprint sensor just gets the job done. So even if it's a slower one, it just gets the job done. That's it. It's not a magnificent and efficient piece of technology that's stuck at the back of the phone, but it's a normal one with a delay. So there are chances that you might get annoyed with the performance of the fingerprint sensor. Now coming to the camera, this is the second most disappointing factor in this phone, like, because at least it looks good on the papers about this camera specifications, which is a 13 megapixel camera, but performance wise I would say that this does not at all meet the expectations from a 13 megapixel camera. Like, whatever expectations we have from a 13 megapixel camera, that too from Asus, a performance like this is not at all acceptable. Because I'll tell you the reason. See, you can see in the picture, like, the shutter speed is very much it's lagging. There's a shutter lag in the shutter speed, and again, when you look at the pictures that are taken, you can see that the color reproduction is not at all natural. Maybe that is because of the indoor lighting, but even if when it is tested in the outdoor lighting conditions, the color reproduction was not that good. So that was the review of the Asus Zenfone Max 3. The question remains, like, would you prefer for this phone or some other phone in the same price range? Please do put in your views in the comment box below, and thank you for watching. Do give a thumbs up for this video and subscribe to our channel and share our video.